dirty little secret of enterprise software is the people who write it never use it, right?
Right.
Like that's the dirty, unsaid secret, which I guess I just said out loud. I mean, that's why open source is always so powerful, right? Like that's why open source won, right?
Yeah, because the users are contributing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that because we have such a deep integration with our customers that, we're using the software. Like we'll be talking to the customers and we'll get something where they'll be like, that's not going to work, right? I'm like, yeah, as I'm saying it, I can see why your use case, this isn't going to work. We'll go make the change. And just being able to be flexible and realize that we have opinions, like we create an opinionated system because we want you to get up and running quickly. But that opinionated system needs to be able to morph. It needs to be able to change.
Right. So you're again finding one of those sweet spots.
Exactly.
I remember even setting up free IPA, you have to make 1 million decisions just to bring it up.
Exactly.
And those decisions have long-lasting consequences. And so that's a really important part of product. And it sounds like you're taking that agile approach of being really deeply engaged with your customers and reacting quickly, which is about the only way I've seen that actually can solve that problem.
Yeah, it's interesting because where I started my career, I was a consultant for PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for 7 years. And I have a marketing slide where we've got a vendor product on one side and the industry on the other, and all X's across of those implementations. And what I found was we would walk into a customer, the vendor would do this really beautiful demo, the executives would all clap and say, yes, this is what we want. And then they'd hand it to us, and the customers were spending more money on me as a consultant to do workarounds for that pretty demo than actually implement business logic.
Right.
So when we built Tremolo, we said, okay, we want to build a building block for an identity service. We don't want to go, just say, here's the pretty demo, and then you've got to deconstruct it. Like we wanted to say, here's your virtual directory, here's your workflow, here's your SSO. And
this is shocking. Like, where's my PowerPoint slides and my vendorware, right? Like, I need paper.
Well, so it makes for a really quick implementation. We used to joke that for every $1 you spent on identity software, you'd spend $2 on consulting. So as consultants, that was great.
Yeah.
At Tremolo, we wanted to turn that on its head. For every $1 you spend on Tremolo, you might spend 50 cents or less on consulting. So that's great. But the problem then becomes you need a pretty demo.
Right.
So that's actually how we ended up getting into the Kubernetes world. I got involved 1.3, I think, was RBAC.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty early.
2016.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of, the first KubeCon that was in Seattle in 2016, where the expo hall was in the lobby of the Hilton. And we had our booth then. I had my little Pi stack running my multi-tenant Kubernetes cluster. And so we've been doing this for a while, right? And we realized that there was a niche that could be filled with an easy solution. And so that's when we got involved, getting into the Slack channels. I had rewritten most of the OIDC documentation for Kubernetes. I had posted on my website, and folks were like, no, I'm just going over to Tremolo's website because their docs are better. I was like, no, I'll go ahead and donate it to the Kubernetes documentation.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what you were saying earlier about being an active participant in the community, growing the pie.
It's important to me. Like, the community's done a lot for me. Like, I would not have the business I have without Kubernetes. So it's important to me to give back and to make sure that we're being a good steward of the community. We're being a good vendor. We're following the rules.
I feel like that's a smart investment, though, because it helps the sustainability of your company. If Kubernetes is successful, you will continue to be successful. Whereas if you took a shorter term view of being like, I'm going to keep all my secrets to myself so I have some minor advantage, it might not play out as well in the long run.
Absolutely. The way that we try to focus our business is you're never going to not make money being a decent human being and thinking about
that a lot. Yeah.
Like, you will always make money that way. It might not come quickly, but I used to joke, I can't shave without looking in a mirror,
Right.
so I've got to do my business in a way that I can shave I look terrible with a full beard. Can't grow one at all. So, it's important to not just be part of the pulling from the community.
Right.
It's super important to be injecting that back in. The money will come.